of the whole genesis of how it happened.
Very cool. And so we, when we decided to do a gameplay version that used the same character, obviously told a different story, one of the things we wanted to do was make sure that we were trying to be as true to the character as possible. The first time we'd ever done kind of a transmedia, or whatever the proper term is for it, event where we were going to launch two things at the same time. So John Epler was on the CIMAC design team. John, could you maybe kind of give us an overview of what your team does and what work you did to make Tallis be the same character in both sides?
Yeah, definitely. So the CIMAC design team is essentially responsible for taking what the writers give us and then taking it to the next step, making it individual storytelling, since that's what the games have gone to, is a cinematic style of storytelling. With Mark of the Assassin, one of the things we did was we watched the Redemption web series that was sent to us before it was released, and we took a look at Tallis' character. We saw the kinds of things that Felicia was doing with her character, and oh, there's the microphone. And we decided, okay, we want to incorporate a lot of these little touches and make the character in the game behave a lot like the character in the web series. So one thing we did is Dave and the other writers wrote all the dialogue. We went through the dialogue and we looked for specific moments to essentially make it Felicia Day flavored character movement. And we got her to the mocap studio. Okay. Anyways. Got her to do some motion capture and then put that in the game. And the process there is we give the motion capture to the animators, they bring it into actual animation files, and we add it to conversations. Yeah, so it's essentially working like a director on a film almost, and then just getting that person to do those things, and then figuring out where those animations are going to make sense. So,
any tales from the mocap studio, Felicia? Or?
Sweat. I mean, you have to wear this crazy sort of scuba outfit, and they put balls on you, or just like markers, like little reflector things. And it's really, really challenging. It's interesting as an actor, because if you act on film, you're always conscious of where the camera is framed, so you act differently if it's a wide shot versus a close-up versus, you know, an action scene, blah, blah, blah. But in a mocap studio, you're in a room that's, you know, 5 times as big as this, and there's hundreds of cameras all around, and so basically they're able to take, you know, framing from one take for 140 different sizes or something. So it's like amazing the technology that they have to be able to craft, you know, the cutting of sequences, and obviously, you know, all the kind of things, the crane shots and all the close-up and all the snazzy camera work they're able to do with just doing one session of mocap, which was really cool. And then we also did full facial scan, and then I did like 12 hours worth of recording. So it was just like such a comprehensive experience. It made me appreciate what these guys do a lot more than I did before.
So in addition to obviously scene design and all the different disciplines, production is one that is probably the most misunderstood. Heather has joined us here. And basically, Heather, as I understand, your job is pretty much to keep things on the rails.
That's true.
Yes. Did we do anything different that you want to talk about from Mark of the Assassin?
Well, we've learned a lot as our team has grown. We've, you know, figured out ways how things work and how things don't work. We try to apply that to each project as we start it. With Mark of the Assassin, we had a very different angle because we had Felicia Day in it, and we haven't done anything like that before. And we wanted to make it good, and so obviously there's extra pressure on the team. So I work with specifically with the level design team and the level art team, and so one specific example I could come up with is the hunting grounds in the DLC. We felt kind of empty, and so it was later in development. So we wanted to add some content, but the VO deadline had finished, and you know, typically we can't add content after that point. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that, you know, I'll go to the loc team and the VO team, and I'll be like, can we do this? And then if I find out if I can get approval, because we don't know if we can get the casting of, you know, can we get Hawk back into the studio? Can we get, you know, everybody back in to do these things? So I just sort of, that kind of situation, so from start to finish, we now have more content in that area, and all we did was just sort of collaborate. So I'm kind of like this person that goes between everybody to make sure everything's happening and that this person knows what this person's doing, or that this is coming, or what the risks are long-term on the project. It sounds boring, but I swear I love it. So you basically keep things moving. You have to be the knower of all the stuff as it's happening, and basically call out any risks and make sure the game is at the end fun. So.
I think in short, if you have a good producer, the various sections of the team talk to each other. If you don't have a good producer, they don't talk to each other.
Bad things happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
God.
true.
Did anyone tell France we recast this character and that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, there's so many details you don't realize it until you start making games. Just how many people are actually involved, and if you don't tell one person, you can have a pretty disastrous result. Like, no VO, that would be noticeable.
So.